My name is Angel Anderson. I've been designing websites since 1998. And started with a notepad. Eventually, I did custom scripts, databases, you name it. Eventually, I landed in WordPress. I think WordPress is one of the best, if not the best platform to create and maintain a site. What WordPress also allows you to do is that it doesn't matter who you hire, whether it's you or somebody else, there is no doubt that any person from person A to B and C, they will be able to pick up where you left or where the previous person left. So it's going to save you a lot of time, headaches, and money. I started designing websites. I did a lot of my focus shifted to online stores, and that was mainly what I spent most of my years. And then it was a big boom of web designer that everybody thought that they could design a website, and I needed to separate myself. So I started studying and practicing marketing, and that was around 2003. And in 2008, I started creating video. Between then and now, I retired from the Air Force. I got my BA in Public Relationship and Marketing. I got an MBA, and I have a video production company, marketing/video production company, north of Tampa. So it's in Brooksville. What's the most important question I can answer for you?
Today, I guess it's where to go. What are the best places to buy a domain name and the hosting?
Okay.
Right. I mean, I've heard of GoDaddy.
Yes.
But are there other options besides
Yes.
that? And whether or not I should? Some people have told me that for my email, don't bother. Just go to Gmail and put the name of the business. You know.
Domain name, hosting, email.
Website, and is it easy to change and whatnot? I wasn't really familiar with how to do it, so I had somebody, a third-party person, to do it for me. But I feel like if it's a lot easier to do it yourself, I'd like to learn on how to, ways I can learn to do it myself, and that way I don't have to spend too much money outside. But if there's something I have to, I don't mind spending it, but for the right reasons.
There's a few different schools of thoughts when it comes to the website. And one of the reasons I personally don't help everybody. So you mentioned something that is key, and it sounds like your website is an expense to you instead of being a money-making activity for you.
Right.
So one thing that I always advise my realtor client has been that you don't rely on the Century 21. Right. What's your company?
NRK Real Estate.
Okay, so their website to generate leads. Just in case you move from place to place, at the end of the day, they are your leads. You work in the same way as a car salesman. They are your leads. So if your website is not generating leads, or you're not using your website to generate leads, then you should start looking to start capturing and collecting your own leads instead of just being a virtual business card. So you can turn that website from an expense that you pay somebody or monthly to a money-making activity. Whether it's it doesn't have to be lead generation. I have helped other people like doctors that they run their intranet inside. So as long as you shift that perspective, or that is an expense to utilizing to either minimize expenses or make money or generate leads that will eventually land your client, then you can you don't see it as an expense, because it's really not. It should not be an expense. Right. And the second one is the information I'm going to give you today. It will help. It will give you the understanding of what you need to do to manage your site, to even create it and manage it. And it's good, but that doesn't mean that you should do it. What's the most important question I can answer for you today?
Most pressing, I guess, is I use my personal email versus my business email, and is it worth changing to let all my clients know? And is that something it should be done ahead of time? I don't know. I'm still kind of.
So both of you have the similar question.
Yeah.
It's Norma, and what was your name?
Neil.
Neil. Norma and Neil. You speak Spanish, Norma?
Sí.
Oh, okay.
Hi, I'm Lisa Marie.
Hi, Lisa.
I, like you, found out about it today on Facebook. It popped up in my feed, and I said, oh, I have time. I'm going to come out to it, so it was perfect. And my situation is similar. I have a domain name registered, and I need the next step, and I've gotten stuck on trying to find a hosting site.
Good.
Tons of them out there. I didn't really want to go with GoDaddy. I wanted to go with something more like Namecheap.com.
Okay.
I've looked at that one. I kind of like it, the affordability of it. And also the same as you, looking at emails and trying to get away from using my Gmail account that's for my friends and family and using something specific that makes me look more professional rather than just lisa.lehigh@gmail.com.
Got it.
You know.
And one thing that hasn't changed with clients since 1998 until 2018 is getting the content from you.
Nope, that's hard.
Like me as a designer, doesn't matter if I'm doing a $5,000 website or a $25,000 website. Angel, you tell me that I need a privacy page, I need a terms and condition. I'm selling online, by the way, that person. What about an about page or a contact page? Have you actually thought about that information before you actually start developing the website? So here's my advice. Before you buy a domain name, before you buy, before you do anything tomorrow, tonight, you open a Word document, a Google Doc, and just write, what is that I want in my homepage? What is that I want in my contact page? What is that I want in my about page? What I'm going to sell? How much I'm going to sell it for? Do I have the pictures? Do I have everything that I need? If I'm going to say, if it's for a photography site, are you going to sell? What are you going to be your rates if you're going to promote them? If you're not going to promote the rates, are you going to ask them to send you an email or a message? Are you going to tell them exactly what you do? Are you going to share your experience in the about page? Do you have pictures showing what you do? If it's for a nutritionist, do you have video testimonials? Do you have a few recipes that you want to share? A few tips and habits? Something that you can create the momentum and the consistency to start promoting the site. Because I can show you how to build a website right now, but if you build it, they will not come unless you create content. Content on your website. Not content on Facebook, not content on YouTube, because those places are rented. The idea for you is, especially if you're starting out, is that you create the content on your website and then you share that content to Facebook because you want them to come to your website, to your place, to your home, to your local business. So to change the perspective a little bit, if you have a local store, if this is your local store right now, and Facebook is across the street, will you create content across the street and you tell them to go and watch the content over there? Or will you tell them if this is your local store and here's where you're selling? Or will you will you share content from here to there so you can attract them to your local store? So that's one of the things that Facebook is great, and I tell everybody to promote and look the audiences and look, everything that you can from your Facebook analytics, insights. But at the end of the day, where is your business? Now, that doesn't mean that your strategy doesn't include selling directly on Facebook. And a full disclosure, the majority of my business right now is closed through Facebook Message. Even today, I asked Shane, I posted a message, I last minute gig, I need somebody to help me do some video, and it was through message. Even Facebook, so Facebook is being great for business, but at the end of the day, you have to think that strategically, where is you want them to go, instead of just posting just for posting. So, content, my advice, sit down, write it down, and keep that document as a ever-evolving, constant changing document that you can access from anywhere. 9 times out of 10, my clients, I use Google Docs, and we put the colors, the links to the logo. So if I need to outsource a project, or you need to outsource the project to somebody else, in one document, you have everything that they need, and you don't waste any time, and you don't start searching for anywhere. If they need to copy and paste, it's there. So it's efficient, speed, and it's consistency. Colors, buttons, fonts, all the information that they need is there. And also you use it for your reference. Now let's jump to the domain name. Domain names are like car dealerships, like phone services. You don't have to get them from GoDaddy or Namecheap or any other place. If you are paying more than $15 a year, then unless it's a premium domain, if it's a normal.com, .net, or .info, if you're paying more than $15 a year, I suggest you look for someplace else. 15 will be the max that I suggest you pay, unless it's a premium domain. Like I have bought domains for $300, $400, $500. I sold domains for $15,060. The biggest I've sold is $68,000. So it depends on your premium domain. The last one the cheapest I've sold is probably like $300. But I bought one that is called, for my new company, it's s.marketing. Simple, and I was looking for a marketing name because that's what my concentration is going to be. But that domain is directly to the company, not to a third party, was $500. So a normal.com, .net, .info, .biz, if you're paying more than 15, but if you really want the name and somebody takes it, make an offer and grab it. Domain names, if in your case, one host before we move to hosting, you can transfer from company to company. It really doesn't matter. The only thing you are doing, if it's about to expire, even if it's not expiring, when you transfer, you pay for an additional year. So let's say it was expiring in 2018 for some reason, and you say, well, I still have a few months left. Now, to transfer the domain, you need to pay in a year, and it adds.
Oh.
So when you transfer to the next company, let's say it's $15, but instead of 2018, it will be 2019 that expires.
Right.
So you do add the year. It just basically you have to pay that no matter what. There's no way around it. So when you transfer from company A to B to C, you pay a transfer, which is a year fee. Website is an expense right now to you, so you will look for a cheap web hosting, or maybe you're starting a business and you want to look for a cheap web hosting. So let me ask you: would you live in a bad neighborhood on purpose? Well, the answer is most of you will say no. So what happens is when you buy cheap hosting, like way cheap hosting, everybody and their cousin is in that machine, and you are sharing that neighborhood with everybody else because they are attracting a lot of cheap people. Whatever they do, you're paying the consequences. If they don't secure the site and they hack the site and that machine gets a lot of traffic, your site will crash. If they send a lot of spam and you overnight your clients are not getting your emails, it's because of them. So you have to put in a scale. What are you willing to pay a month and what are you getting? So here's what I would suggest you look for in a web hosting company, being a web hosting company owner. Daily backups. Because like Mia said, you don't know when the server will crash. That's number one. Hopefully never, but if it does, you want to be able to pick up and go to a different company. Now, customer support. How hands-on is the customer support? And not necessarily a phone call, because a lot of companies provide phone support, but this is not the actual. Yeah, we created a ticket for you, and somebody will send you an email. That's not helping you. What is that? Phone support is not necessary, but it's like if I submit a ticket today, I'm wasting my time with a level 1, 2, and 3 before somebody high-end answers, or the expert that needs to answer my question will answer right away. Another thing is email, because everything you do today, 9 times out of 10 in business is email. Do they maintain a good reputation on the email service? If I'm not using their services for email, do they provide help for me to use a different platform? And those questions you want answered, because those are going to be the bread and butter of your business. Meaning, if your website crashed and you have a potential new client going, you could potentially lose that client. If you send an invoice and that person is not paying, and you blame that person because it's not paying, but it's because your hosting IP is being flagged by the incoming email provider, then you are not getting paid. I would say email is like the number one thing that you want to look. Daily backups is nice, but email and tech support, like how hands-on. Now, my advice, if you're starting with, see if you can find a friend, a local person in Tampa that helps you out. And the reason is, if you need help, pick up the phone and call, and that person, you have a relationship with that person, and you're not calling a big company, and you just another customer that they don't care if they lose or not. So my advice, at least at the beginning, until you feel more comfortable, if you have a friend, if you know somebody locally that you can pick up the phone and call, that will make your life a little bit easier. However, that could also be a double-edged sword, because depending on, let's say, not all the clients are the best clients. We've been in business for a while. We know that sometimes people call and you're like, I don't want to pick up the phone. So you might be that type of person to your hosting friend, and you potentially just ruin a relationship because you ask for help. So you have to know how also you're going to be as a customer, and if it's worth for you to ruin that relationship in the future or not. So email. There are plenty of companies out there, like just to recap real quick, GoDaddy is probably it's the number one domain registrar in the world. Hosting, there are plenty of companies out there. If you want help with that, I can put an offer later, and I'll post it on the Facebook event, and I give you guys, I don't know, like 5 years for like $100 or something like that. We figured it out. I'll post an offer later. But there are plenty of companies out there. I just share what you should look for.
Mm-hmm.
I will suggest to not keep the domain and the hosting in the same company. So if something happens, all your eggs are not in one basket.
Right.
And it's easier for you. Because the domain name, the only thing you have to update the name servers, so it's just changing something real quick. It's not a big deal, and you probably will not touch that company for just once a year. However, I do understand the nicety and the like. I do have clients they text me and say, "Hey, I want you to migrate my domain name from a company to here," and we maintain it for them, but if you're going to be the hands-on person, keep them in separate company. That will be my advice. Email. So the third question that you guys wanted to know was about email, using personal emails like @Gmail to your own domain name. There are two schools of thoughts. These days, some people believe that doesn't make a difference. Marketing people, like myself, will tell you that makes a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
It's free publicity for you.
Right.
So, like today, I broke my own rule because I typically wear t-shirts. It's a human billboard. I'm a marketing guy, but running out of time, I grabbed the first thing I saw and just kept walking. I didn't even shake. So, I know my wife will kill me.
Say that again, I don't understand the
Free marketing.
What's
Right.
free marketing? By doing what?
Using your own domain name as in your email. Now, if your hosting account doesn't provide email services, then use a Gmail. But if they do provide, in marketing opinion, I would say that it's better for you to use your own domain.
Okay. And so typically the email is part of the hosting?
Yes.
Typically?
So now, if you get a cheap hosting, like I would not advise you to use their email services. I would say
Really?
do Google Apps or use something different that then your emails reach the intended audience. But that let's say that you want to use Google Apps for your email. Then it would be like $5 a month for your email alone. But you do need a hosting account. So let's say you find a deal on hosting, and you want to use like you have a Gmail, you want to integrate everything in one box and one inbox and use the calendar and all that. Then just pay for Google Apps. It's the best way to do it. So we answered the question about domains, hosting,
Email.
and email. Neil was about transferring. So you have a website and you want to transfer from company A to company B. First, ask all the login. So do you have full access to the control panel and all that?
I do, but I'm not familiar with it.
So there are two ways. If you don't want to do it,
Right.
pay for hosting
Okay.
in another company and
Right.
have them transfer it.
Okay.
9 times out of 10, it's gonna be free because they want your business.
Right. Right.
The company that you're losing is not gonna transfer to the new company. That's guaranteed. So don't even ask.
They're not that nice. They're not gonna be that nice.
Boys, they're losing you. So why they will put?
There's no incentive.
However, they could be like, so you live in what can we do to gain your business? If it's nothing that they can do to gain your business,
Right.
they can say, at least they can say, okay, here's a full backup, just give it to your webmaster. Some people are nice, but transferring the information from one company to another one can be a task, time-consuming task, and if the company that you're leaving, they don't have an incentive, they don't even have it's not an incentive. They don't have a reason why they need to do it.
Right.
The company that you are paying the new one, they should transfer it. Now, if you want to know how to properly do it, I would say do a full backup, buy new hosting. Once you buy the new hosting, they're going to give you all the login information. You go to the old one, do a full backup, and you upload all the save files in the directory, and you change. You know where the name? So in the domain names, there is a section called name servers. So the name servers is what points your domain name from one company to another one. So for example, let's say this one is GoDaddy, let's say this one is Namecheap, and you're paying hosting in each one. So right now this is your old company, and it will say ns1 at godaddy.com, for example, ns2, and you want to change it to Namecheap. The only thing you need to do is log into the domain name and update to, for example, ns1 to .namecheap.com, ns2, and within 72 hours it will point to the new one. Sometimes the same day, but normally up to 72 hours. It's just one change, one setting in domain name, and I will show you how that. And actually, I do have plenty of videos. So if you Google on Angel Anderson videos, or you go to YouTube, Angel Anderson videos, and you type GoDaddy name server, for example, change. That tutorial is being done many years ago. So, but if you do have, if after you leave the workshop today, if you do have a different question, send a Facebook message to the event, and I will create a video and I will upload it for you guys. So, transferring, it depends. But I gave you the simple version, but it's gonna take you more to it. But at least have a local backup, just in case that the transfer doesn't go through. You at least have a zip file, something that you can provide the next person, because it depends on, like, your existing website is WordPress.
No, it's GoDaddy.
Okay, so you might need to download the databases, and the databases from one company to another one might not. I made it sound more simple than sometimes where it depends on your situation. So you might have to do 2 backups, one for the files and one for the databases. But I don't have a tutorial from. You know what plan you have in GoDaddy?
I don't. I have to look it up.
If you look it up, maybe I can give you the answer. I just did a full backup for a client in Las Vegas, so I might be able to, because you might have a cPanel control panel. If you do have a cPanel as a control panel, then there is a backup wizard built into the control panel, and the only thing you have to do is click next, and download.
See.
Yeah. So Lisa,
Yes.
yours was email.
Yep.
And landing pages.
Yes, that's the last one.
Landing pages. So I am going to, once in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to boot up these. I'm going to start doing it now. And I'm going to create a WordPress, very basic WordPress site. And what I will do is I will create a landing page, and I will embed a video. So hopefully I can get you to do a video instead of a coming soon page.
Yes.
And like I said at the beginning, I personally believe that if you're going to invest your time, that a coming soon page really only tells them that you're coming sometime soon, even if you have a countdown time or a date. But in the meantime, can that page do something for you besides telling people? Yeah. So if you feel comfortable on video, and here's why I say video. If a picture is worth 1,000 words, a video is worth 1,000 pictures. Don't copy that line, it's mine, Neil.
I like that.
I saw you writing right away.
So my domain is GoDaddy, but I realized that WordPress is my website. Sorry.
So they do have it, they give you a control panel based out of cPanel. So once you log into GoDaddy, you will see a control, just hover the mouse over the icons, and once you see CP or control panel, click on it. Once you open it, let me see if I can open one here for GoDaddy so you can see. Once you open it, it will be, just scan, and you will see two icons for backups. One that is fully manual, and the other one is a wizard. Click on the wizard, just click next, and that's it. That one is going to be easy. Okay. So, landing pages. So for Lisa, I'm going to create that landing page, and just think what you want on the landing page, and I'll show you. Session with them anyway. So why not answer that question with a blog post before they hire you?
Yeah, that's
save
cool.
time. Save time.
Yeah.
And there are other strategies that you can use. Have them scout the location. Why that should fall on you? Like the 10 best parks that you can take. You can bring your photographer with you, and you scout the location ahead of time, and you share it. When somebody asks you, do you know where I can take pictures? Share the blog post. And you can get creative instead of like, I can take your picture, you want me to take your picture. People say that all the time. Give them value.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it just, the challenge, you say yes, but the challenge that I find when I do marketing consulting is that when you put the business hat, you default to, I want your money. People default to that instead of what is in it for them. And when you're in the marketing side for a long time, or when you read a book, they stress the what is in it for me, which is your client. But when you start writing and you start sharing, you put your business out, and you want to sound all proper, and you don't want to say bad words, and but if you do say bad words in the real life, if you don't sound proper, I got over my thick accent many years ago. You can't please everybody. I come across people that are not military friendly, and they will not do business with me because I was in the military. So you can't please everybody, but one thing you can do is you can keep adding value to people's life, and whoever is the ideal client, because you are different, you're not just asking for the money, you're saying, think about this, you share 10 parks, and a potential client, let's say I am in one of the parks and I read your blog post, and I'm sitting playing with my kids, and I'm like, you know what? What's your name again? Shane. I said, Shane. And you already came to mind. So now it's another touch point. So I might just be there playing with my kids, and I just send you a text, hey man, when can we schedule a photo shoot? Just a reminder, because you already add value instead of just asking for my money right away. So there are a lot of things that you can do as a photographer to attract clients. I don't do Facebook ads. I'm really good at Facebook ads, and I'm constantly.
Did you try the Instagram?
IGTV?
Instagram promote.
Instagram.
Use hashtag.
Yeah. So and Instagram for your food lovers is great.
Perfect. Oh my God. So many food
It's
lovers.
great. It's great. So what I would suggest, if you're not a food blogger or a puppy, lover, or if your business, if it's nutrition, this is how a fridge should look like. Happy customer eat that. But real estate, how many houses can you actually see? But you can say, I want this in my next house. And you don't have to tell, and by the way, if you're looking for this, you should, lay down in that sauna, in the gym.
Relax.
When was the last time you actually saw a real estate agent doing crazy stuff like that? But no, I'm in front of this house, and I'm like, it's for sale. No kidding. That's why I'm a realtor, and I'm not selling this house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like if I was a real estate agent, Man, this is the doors.
It's like you are like this thing you're
My
doing.
wife is killing me to put. She wants me to get these doors in the house. Man, she ain't getting them. Let your personalize in.
Right,
You know, like the faucets. You know, like how, like making your vision board, like your dream board through them, and let your personality in. For a photographer, you can use it as a. So here's one area in marketing that a lot of people fail at, and then they're struggling because, and I hear this, or they think I'm too expensive, or or they want me to do it for free, and it's because you're missing three things: assets, credibility, and experience. So assets, Shane is recording video for me. These workshops landed me as a mentor in start week next weekend. That workshop possibly can put me in front of a couple thousand more people that I don't have to pay for Facebook ads. I'm just giving you 90 minutes of my life. So next time you do something for free, or next time you do anything picture-wise, how can you record yourself doing it or take a picture? I have my kids, when I did my baby announcement pictures, I have my wife and taking pictures of me taking pictures of the baby announcement. Instead of me telling you I take pictures or I do video, can I show you? So show not tell. Credibility. I can tell you all day long that I do these workshops, but if you see them on a video, I can tell you all day long. You can tell me all day you take pictures, but I'm not seeing your work. Or the nutritionist. So how can you use your experiences to show credibility? And the same thing with the experience. The more you post, maybe you get picked up by a newspaper or a live stream. You keep repeating the same message again until you fine tune it. That is experience. So those three things you need to start learning. Anything that you do, if you can, even if it's for free, how can incorporate this? Because if not, you're going to start your business today. That's just how it is. You don't want to do that. You want to pay for client acquisition no matter what. Whether it's your time, a salesperson commission, an affiliate commission, you're going to pay for that person to come to you. Even if it's here, even if, let's say one day one of you becomes a client, I already pay for it. So it doesn't matter what, you're always going to be paying for client acquisition. So the challenge in the past before retargeting was that you came into my website and you didn't sign up for that free coffee recipe. You lost that lead.
Correct.
But with retargeting, by just adding a simple code, now that you went and you didn't take any action, now my Mr. Coffee Cup ad will show up in Facebook, will show up in any other search engine.
Yeah.
Basically what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to install WordPress, so you can see how it's installed. I am going to add an article or a page, show you how to edit it, so at least you know how to edit content and create a page and an article. I am going to create a contact page, and then I'm going to create a landing page. So empty page, once you buy a domain name and you set up the hosting, that's what it's going to look like. It's going to be empty. It might have a placeholder like website coming soon or something like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll until I see like a WordPress installation. And why I am clicking, sorry. Here where it says install. And I am going to choose the first one is going to be how I want the HTTP or HTTPS. If I give you the option to have HTTPS, obviously have it. The second one is the domain name. Do you want the .com, the www or not www? I leave it without the www. Like here, it gives you the options. I leave it without the www. The third field is the directory, and the reason I deleted that field is because I want people that when they type show not tell .online, it comes up. If I have a directory, when they have to type show not tell .online /WP. So you can have multiple installations, multiple folders with different websites, If you want to, like some people, some clients wanted a EN for English when they decide to go from Spanish to English, and they have the redirection to the EN. But there are other purposes. Like I could create an event website specific for that event, and just let the event planners manage all that. They don't need access to my website, they just need access to that event folder. It could be a coaching internal website, it could be an intranet, it could be a lot of things. Here is going to be the title, so show, not tell, online. And then here's the description of the website. Here's the thing, during the installation you have to fill up all the blanks. Nothing can be left. Here's going to be the username for the super admin. Don't leave it as an admin. And then here's the password. So I'm gonna click hide, so you don't see it. And then I'm gonna put an email address. And the reason is that each person in the backend, each user, the unique identifier is the email address. So you give it to your husband or to your business partner, it's going to be a different email address. So when they have to reset their password, it's just send it directly to them. The language of the site, and then here you can choose to have a design installed from the installation if you want. I choose I'm going to leave it blank, and I am going to type my email address here again. And the reason is, just in case I mistype my password, if you notice, there is not a confirm your password, like two times.
Right.
So if you fat finger one, you don't want to go crazy like this didn't work, and like I want the information to be emailed. That way I have proof, just in case if I have problems, I revert back to that email.
Oh.
And and it's anyway good practice. So I revert back to the email and I make sure that everything that I type is good. So you saw that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna refresh the page. I got a website. So it's a basic, very basic. And I can prettify this site. Look for images. If you look for angelanderson.com/resources, you're gonna find plenty images out there, websites that I download my images. They are not opt-in page, so it's just the resources page for me is if I forget a tool, I go over there and I just use it. So I tend to bookmark these resources that I use. But one that comes to mind really quick that I use frequently is called Unsplash for images. However, my advice is stock images do serve a purpose, but you want to use your own images as much as possible.
Right.
It just adds to your branding, adds to your credibility. You can sneak in product placement with stock footage. It's more anybody can use the same image, and yeah, they do serve a purpose. So here's when I use stock images. If I'm gonna create a Facebook post and I'm gonna add a lot of text, or I'm gonna blur, or an Instagram, a quote, or something that is not, a picture that is not mine, I will use it. But 9 times out of 10, I just use my own images. So to log in, WordPress, it has a default backend, which is WP admin, and that will be sent to you in that email. Once it logs in.
Can I ask you a question now that you mentioned that you typically like to use your own images? And I agree with that. Should you do something to protect your images?
I think so. There are two schools of thoughts on that one. Some people, like photographer, will add their copyright or their watermark to the images. But if you, in my opinion, if you add them to your website, it just takes away from how the image looks.
Right.
So I like to use images of happy people. using or after they receive my product. So one of the things that people tell me all the time is, Angel, you made it so easy. Like especially people that don't like to be on camera. So I like to capture that, like how they're relaxed and easy.
Right.
Or when they're in a group and they're, that's my, so if I add a watermark, it just takes away from the
image.
So can somebody take it?
Right.
Yes. It's gonna be the back end. What you want to put your attention is on the left side. You have posts, you have pages, which is 9 times out of 10 what you're going to be working on, and appearance. So we're going to work on appearance later. Let's work on a post. Let's say you have a new house that you want to sell. So I'm gonna go to, or a new recipe, or I forgot, what was your business again?
I'm a writer.
A writer. Ghost writer?
I've done that as well, yeah.
Business card. So if I go and click on all posts, I will have a list of all the articles I've created for my site. For a photographer, it could be a tip, it could be anything, right? So let's say I'm gonna create a new one. I'm gonna call it WordPress Workshop. Today we had an amazing time at the ECC. So I'm gonna fix this. Now, it looks text. I'm gonna click publish, and I'm gonna show you how to format it. Because there are two, if you see on the,
Visual and text.
you have visual and text. So by default it's going to be on text unless you switch it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna show you why you want to switch it and why I don't switch it. I will tell you both. So you see, it has the default header, the sidebars, and what I wrote. So I don't switch it because I'm used to it, and for me it's faster just to write, for example, and if I want to write a little bit of code. But for a lot of people, it will be more. You see how I got bold.
Right,
So
right.
if I click on visual and I want to type, okay, here, okay, let me. So here is tip number 1. Here is number 2, and also I can do headings. 1, and I can change colors for text. So just like a Word document. Now that I click update, always click update. I will refresh the page and you will see it. Okay. So now the text will always stay there unless you delete it. You can change the design and the text will be when we change the design, you will see that the colors or the formatting might change or will change, and that will change, or that will depend on the design that you pick. And I will give you another advanced tip or not time wasting tip on picking the design, a theme for you, because you can spend days.
Yeah.
You have to put your foot down. So here's the tip. Put your foot down and you say, I'm spending 1 hour max, and commit, even if it hurts, commit to one, and then, because in the whole reality, the team is not going to make or break your business. What you need to do is to keep moving forward.
Right.
If you get stuck for days on a theme, then you're not making a sale. You're not making your message. So pick one, the best one within that hour or 30 minutes, whatever time frame. Put your foot down. If it hurts, just move forward, and then put a calendar for 6 months to update the theme again. Whenever you feel you have more time, maybe in 6 months doesn't bother you, and you dismiss that calendar reminder. But if it still bothers you, you have a reminder, and that itch that I'm not updating the site, it will go away once you put the calendar reminder. Don't spend days. You say yes. How long have you been searching for a design?
Mine, probably years.
I've seen people, without exaggerating, searching for 4 days straight. And at the 5th day when they went to the office, I was like, no, we're picking a team today. Why you gotta search for 8 hours, from you have to come in and just pick one. There is, that's the issue with option. You have
Right.
Yeah.
thousands of designs. So, and the design says what is that you like.
Mm-hmm.
So look websites that you like and why you like them, and websites that you don't like and why you don't like them. The most important thing is why you like them and why you don't like them. And when you look for a theme, then pick for the things and avoid the things that you don't like. Look for the things that you like, because the colors will change. You can change the colors. Mainly it's the layout, what you're looking for.
Right.
Layout on a theme. So now that I show you how to create an article, let's edit it. So I log in again. I'm going to go to all posts. I'm going to hover to where it says edit.
Right.
I'm going to click edit, and I'm going to type one more time whatever I want to type, and I'm going to click update. That's it. You're like, why I pay somebody to do that? It's because of the time. Again, it's good for you to know, but that doesn't mean that you should do it.
Right.
Pages. The same thing as posts or articles. Click on pages. Let's create a contact page. I'm going to click add new, contact us, and here is how you should, and click publish. Now I am going to open the page in a new link, and we have basic information, but let's say that you want to add a form. Now, one of the nice things about WordPress is that you can add, the scripts are already done for you. So I'm going to go to plugins, I'm going to add new if I don't have it, and I'm going to click, let's say, contact form. I'm going to install this one, contact form 7, and once it's done, I'm going to click activate. And I'm not going to get into the details on how to add fields, but it's very simple. Basically, what I want to do is I want to go back to contact forms. I'm going to copy this code here, and I want to go back to my contact page, edit, paste the code that the form gave me, click update, and you have a form. Now you can have surveys, you can have change the field, yes or no questions. We can get in really in depth on how and what you should collect. I use them a lot for feedback collection, for onboarding questions. It's simple, and you get an email, or you can collect them in the database, and that's it. But did that answer the question? How to add an article, edit a page. Now we're gonna do a landing page, because depending on your site, you might have a landing page template, which eliminates the menus and makes a true landing page. But and we're gonna get into that and how to embed the video. Yes, sir.
Is it difficult to add another company to the same page, like a different, like if I do property management?
I saw your brain. I saw your brain rolling, and you're my guy, Neil. Yes. So one of the things that you can look on your hosting company is that how many websites are they allowing you to have. So typically cheap accounts will only allow you to have one or one database, which that means that if you have more than one website, you gotta share that database, and if there are two different people, that's a big no-no for me. So if they allow you to have more than one, yes, and you go back to the same the same steps, add a new one, pick the domain name, and that's it. It's simple. It's simple. Let's do a theme real quick. Let's pick a theme. So there are two places I'm going to share with you today, but there are hundreds out there. One is free and one is paid.
How often should you change your landing page or like your website in general? Is there like a number?
No. So even as a let me find a clear one and answer that one for you real quick. Neil. Let me pick one. Did you see? I started scrolling.
Yeah.
Yes. So let me pick one.
Sucked in.
Yeah, let me pick one. And click activate.
It's pretty user friendly though. Everything's
So as you can see, it's not too much. you will spend time prettifying, meaning like the colors or,
Yep.
but that's with anything. Let me double check here. Oh, here, you see, default template, full width. I'm gonna change update. That's what I was looking for. And depending on the theme, you're gonna have options.
Okay.
And I'm gonna refresh and
It
boom.
takes away that
Gone.
awful sidebar.
Yeah. So that's what I was looking for.
Okay.
And I can eliminate the breadcrumbs, I can eliminate the title, I can make it a little bit prettified. But that was simple landing
Oh,
page.
yeah.
You don't have to pay for a service.
Yeah. And you don't have to have, do you have to have hosting at this point?
Yes. So before you
still have to have a hosting
yes,
for it?
yes,
Okay.
yes. So no, so the website, you always need hosting.
Okay.
Yeah, there is no way around that.
Okay. So you do
Don't-
the website, you do your WordPress.org registration?
No.
No?
No. Domain name, hosting, and
Then you can do this.
yes,
Email.
So do WordPress has its own host?
yes, you can choose to pay hosting through WordPress if you want to. Yes,
Okay.
yes. But then, and that will be your hosting company. So in essence, what you need is domain name and hosting. It doesn't matter if it's AT&T, Verizon, or Sprint.
Okay.
You need a cell phone service.
Okay.
And also, I noticed that you can download the WordPress. What does that mean? Download WordPress.
So if like in Template Monster, there is not a way for you to search and activate the theme from inside your website. You have to download it. So even if a developer design it, they give you a zip file, and basically what you do is you go to the back end and you go to Appearance, Themes, click add new one, click upload, and that's where you have to upload the theme that we just downloaded here, this one.
Okay.
Here's a stock image that I used recently. They do serve a purpose, and I use it for a posting job that I put this morning looking for a videographer. I was in a time crunch, and I was like, I need to do this right now. So that's what I use. What else in this scenario that I need to cover before to answer any more
Mine's
questions?
done.
Yours good?
Yeah, mine are good.
And you feel comfortable how to embed videos?
Yeah, I saw the options there. You just play around with it.
Neil?
How long do you have to refresh your?
Oh, the website. So it's not a hard rule. I changed mine. I did an update to mine about 3 or 4 days ago, and it's because I got picked up to be a mentor, and I wanted to update my speaking page. However, it used to be very different, and I'm putting more attention to the email, but the homepage is not finished. What I was working on, it was on this page right here. I wanted to work on this one and make sure that the information, that's basically it. But did your brand change? Did your colors change? What change that is going to drive you to change that website? Yeah. If not, really. But if you want to put a number, once a year. If you want to put a number, once a year.
At least.
And update your headline, update your call to action, update, are you a realtor or you're a high-end realtor in the Tampa area? And you take the chance to update that. That is more important than the actual design. But if you're driving a lot of paid traffic to the site, then it will be sooner. Because what you can do is, and if you're driving a lot of paid traffic, it will be, you want to raise your conversion rate. It could be, people would go, have you heard of A/B split test? So they change the headline, you have 2 headlines, and the 50% of the traffic will see headline 1, and 50% of the traffic will see headline 2. And then after the test is done, the highest one, the one with the highest converting rate, they will stay on your website. And then you move to a second test, and you do tests frequently, like the color of the button, the fields in the form, but you do 1 test at a time, and that's when you do a lot of conversion, a lot of paid traffic. So you have because more paid traffic doesn't equal more customers. It just equals more traffic to your site or to your post. So you might as well take advantage of it.
Right.
And optimize your site for higher conversion rates.
I see.
I'm good.
You sure?
Yes, I'm good.
Sir?